Good evening and welcome to Gaming Kent. As always, my name is Jack, aka GKRT Pinky Boy, and welcome to Gaming Kent presents AOR GT Sport Super Formula Season 2, and we're here round 4 at the historic Autodromo Nacional de Monza. I say historic as in it is a historic track, not the historic version of the track with the oval, of course. Now, for those of you who don't know Monza, it is also known as the Cathedral of Speed. It is one of the highest powered tracks on the F1 circuit, and we are using it for Super Formula this evening. It is just north of Milan. It was built in 1922, and it was the third all-purpose racetrack built in the world after Brooklands and Indianapolis. Now, round here, slipstream is important as you will be doing roughly about 80% of the track on the throttle. You will be full throttle for between 80 and 90% of this track. It is a high maximum power, minimum drag circuit. There used to be a bank section, it is now unused and is degrading, but it was part of this course. You see the bridge as you come out from under where Communist Minion currently is coming. You can still sometimes see the bridge depending on the angle of the shot. There is right there. The banked oval used to come over there. Now you have 3 action zones here, turns 1 and 2, which is Variante del Rettifilo, aka the first chicane, turns 4 and 5, Variante della Roggia, which is turns 4 and 5, and turn 11, which is the Curva Parabolica. Now there are 11 corners here, 7 to the right, 4 to the left, and that is just pretty much to make sure that the track reaches the start-finish straight without just going all the way around the world and having a massively long, ridiculous track. We have had a couple of retirements since the last race. Trucks B retired at the start of the last race from the season, as has Adam. He resigned from this league just earlier on today. We're looking at a pole time probably roughly about a 1:29.5, 1:28, kind of between 1:28 and 1:29.5. The course is 3.6 miles long. The pit straight is 0.696 miles long, and it is currently the 9th generation of the track. Variante del Rettifilo was added in 1972. Variante della Roggia was introduced in 1976. When Variante del Rettifilo was introduced, it was a left-right double chicane. The Rettifilo is now just a right-left chicane, and that has been used in that format since 2000. I've been speaking with a couple of the drivers, and they seem to feel that this place is going to be good for some close racing, provided everyone gets into the slipstream. I was speaking to RGD Gazmania, and he said specifically Slipstream City. Bloody Nine is hoping that there is no chaos before turn 1, and Delaney has said the exact same thing, except from turn 2 instead of turn 1. Again, it's going to be a high-speed track. Let's have a quick look at a hot lap round here. now that we've had a look at the track from a hot lap perspective, that's what you're looking for. Let's have a look at the drivers and team championship standings at the moment. Ragnar Kagari in the lead with 133 points. RGD race behind with 92 points, followed by Bloody Nine on 81 points. Communist Minion is then behind with 96 points. Ash Racer has 67 points. Shifter has 62 points, followed by Ronan GT Delaney on 61 points. Adam Mattix Connolly, who has withdrawn from the rest of the season, finishes up the season on 45 points. RGD Gazmania has 47 points after missing a race last week. JT Kirk has 34 points after getting disconnected at Sardinia. And we have Truxby, who left the season last week at Kyoto. And let's see how that affects also the Drivers' Championship. RGD Racing is in the lead of the driver standings, the team standings, with 139 points, and Camel Ford, which is Ragnar Kagari, has 133. Team Stuart Ford, which is Ronan GT Delaney and Ash Racer, have 128 points, followed by Bleeding Edge Mark Vida, which is Just Bloody 9 on 81 points. West Racing Mercedes is Communist Minion on his own, and he has 76 points. Red Bull Mugen Honda is BMTM Shifter, 62 points. Jupiter Racing, Adam Mattix Connolly, 45 points. Will not be getting any more points for the rest of the season, as Adam Mattix Connolly has, as I said, retired from the rest of the season. JKM Honda is JT Kirk, aka the Rainbow PlayStation, as I like to call it, 34 points. BAR Honda is Trucks, who resigned last week and is stuck on 19 points. Will not gain any more points through the rest of this season. Now, we're having a look here. Bloody Nine currently has the fastest lap in practice of 1 minute 31.27. Like I said, I'm expecting full time to be somewhere between 1:28 and 1:29.5. We should be heading into quali in about 5 minutes. Let's just have a look at Bloody Nine here as he is coming through the Variant del Rosia. See how some of these guys take the corners compared to the hot lap, which I had shown you and walked you through. You see him getting just a wee bit wide there. And back on power. Now, there is no OTS to use in the practice sessions, so as we go into quality, that will be allowed, which means I don't know if we will have the same full time as I'm predicting, because I don't know how much these guys are pushing through practice, or if they're just hanging back a little bit and keeping the full lap time under their hats. But I was asking some of the drivers earlier today if they think that a recreation of Monza qualifying from the F1 is likely, and they said it's possible, but they hope not. It just depends on who comes out first and whether they're willing to try and do that. Which makes sense, because while the slipstream on the straights is important around here, we've just seen someone spinning out who spun out, RGD Gazmania. While the slipstream is very important around here, you will find that being so close in the slipstream will be detrimental coming through the likes of the Lesmos, Parabolica, Curva Grande, and possibly the Ascari chicane, due to the wake from that big rear wing interfering with the aerodynamics at the front of the car. These have much simpler aerodynamics than F1 cars, so they don't cause as much of a wake. However, they do cause disturbance in the air, which will cause understeer through the corners, as we watch BMTM Shifter coming up towards Parabolica, followed by Bloody Nine, and I'm not sure who else is there. We see it's Communist Minion following up behind. You've got RGD Wraith just coming down towards the Sky chicane, and Ragnar Gary parked up at the Variante del Roggia. So, should take this moment to mention next week there is no races for 2 weeks for the Super Formula, as real life F1 we are going to take 2 break weeks for the Mexican and American Grand Prix. We will then be back the week after that with a topless international, followed by Santa Croix B. Track is to be determined. I'm pretty sure we're just hoping for Spa to be released, or Silverstone, or possibly even Twin Ring Motegi, or somewhere like Sugo Sportland or Okinawa, one of the Super Formula tracks. We'll just have to see what happens, and then after that is Suzuka, as we are doing Super Formula. It only seems right that we start or finish with Suzuka, as that is where Super Formula both starts and finishes. But let's get back to the action. We've had Communist Mine just leave the room and rejoin. We shall have to see if he can stay in the room, but we should be just about near quali. Just a reminder, quali is 10 minutes, no fuel, no tyre deg, but you do get the OTS, and you have the option of the medium or the soft tyres, because those are the tyres that we use in the sprint race. Whichever tyres you pick to go out on here, they will be locked in for the feature race, which is 26 laps with the tyre wear and fuel usage on, and in the sprint race, obviously a reverse grid. Rolling start for the sprint race, 13 laps. So the racing should be about an hour in total, 40 minutes for the feature race and 20 minutes for the sprint. It won't be exact, it will be approximate. We might go a little bit over or a little bit under, depending on incidents, clean racing, how fast these cars actually manage to get to on this track. We have raced here before. I remember we raced here first season when I was racing, and it was a lot of fun. Let's watch Wobby just take flight over there. Ragnar Kagari taking flight over the sausage curb there. Just doing a lag check on Ragnar Kagari, as he does have a couple of issues with his internet. What with it being a bit laggy at times. This is something you will see in my streams where I am racing in the Porsche Cup. You'll see lag check Wobby coming up. This element looks good from here. Says Delaney. Just have a look at everyone's different helmets while we're waiting. Yes, the drivers getting to the first sector time splits to get ready for qualifying. Now remember, 10 minutes, no fuel, no tyres, so what we should expect to see is everyone just dashing out of the pits and going for laps as quickly as possible. Probably not using their OTS on the first flying lap, and using it on a later flying lap as track evolution happens and as drivers get more comfortable with the course and find the gap. However, you may see someone just go for one quick lap and then just leave it at that. It just depends on how the driver is feeling about it at the time. We see someone spinning around, it's probably Communist Minion, yep, doing donuts like a yob. Like a hoodlum doing donuts. There we go, qualifying has started. 10 minutes to put yourself on pole. At the moment, Ragnar Kagari has the most poles. We are in race number 4, and I believe he has 3 poles already. I think he's been pole on every race so far. As we watch Ronan GT Delaney be the first one out. That is a brave move from Ronan GT Delaney. As I am dropping everything. There we go, that is much better. Who else is out at the moment? BMTM Shifter and Communist Minion are also out on track. Now you'll see, despite the fact that Delaney is head of the pack, once he crosses the line, he should start moving up as he is the first to cross that line. But we should hopefully see some lovely runs through the Lesmos. We've carried a lot of speeds. Trying to not go out once onto the gravel, but we'll just need to wait and see. A lot can happen in the next 10 minutes. As we see Ragnar Kagari doing as usual, just hanging out in the pit lane, just waiting for that gap to emerge. When everybody else has gone round once, and we see Ronan GT Delaney getting ready to start his first lap of the track. There we go, time started, and a long run down to the chicane. Breaking in there nicely, getting nicely turned in, needing maybe a wee bit too much of that curve. But he manages to get the car straightened out and the traction down. Expect to see a lot of people getting a bit of wheel spin out there as they get back on the power a bit too early, which will cost them valuable tenths. As we see Delaney coming across the line. For the first sector, now we do not know if that's going to matter, we will not see anyone else moving up and down based on it. We'll see all of that as people come across the start and finish line. Again, nicely through the Lesmos, back on the run down to Ascari. Turning in nicely to Ascari, keeping the speeds. Communist Minion in the background there. Let's see if he's close enough to pick up some of that slipstream, but far enough away that it doesn't get hit with dirty air coming through Parabolica. As Ronan GT Delaney comes up towards the line. And it's a 130.4, let's see what Communist Minion does, 130.4. BMTM Shifter, 131.1. Now let's see who's further back. Bloody 9 will be the next to cross the line. Let's see what he can do as he comes through the parabolic curve. And he crosses the line with a 129.9. RGD Gasmania coming across next. 129.9. RGD raised 130.7. So at the moment your pole sitter is one and only bloody 9. Let's see who's coming up next. Ronan GT Delaney will be the next to cross the line. Perhaps, unless Communist Minion overtakes him. If Delaney makes a mistake here, it just looks like Communist Minion might be closing in on Delaney just a touch because of being in that slipstream. what happens as we come through the Parabolica. Can Communist Minion hold the line? As he moves through there, you see the heat coming on. Communist Minion goes 129.4. Communist Minion is now your man on the pole. Let's see what BMTM Shifter does coming across the line. He does not go quicker. Are we having a wee battle between Delaney and Bloody? Not Delaney and Bloody, Delaney and Mega. It does look like that was starting to happen. As with someone else just crossed the line, that would be Bloody 9 has crossed the line. RGD Wraith went faster, 129.3. Gasmania does not go faster. We now have Ragnar Kagari out on the track with 5 minutes remaining. 129.3 the time to beat. See who's out in front just now. That would be Ronan GT Delaney, and Communist Minion is actually quite a bit further behind than I expected him to be. Must have had an incident or just decided to slow down for a bit. We've now got BMTM Shifter just coming down to a Scary, but eye on Delaney here as he comes up to Curva Parabolica. Let's see if better this time. He cannot. Let's have a look. BMTM Shifter is the next to come through. Does not go better. Ragnar Kagari is about to finish his out lap. So the next lap is the one that counts. Next to come through is RGD Wraith, followed by RGD Gasmania. None of them have gone fast. No one has gone faster since RGD Wraith's last lap. I should mention that the lap record around here and race trim was set by Rubens Barrichello in the Ferrari in 2004 with a 1:21.046 second lap. 1 minute 21. RGD Wraith has pulled off to the side there, gone back to the pits and back out, just trying to find that gap. Has the time for one more lap. After his out lap here, let's where's Ragnar Kagari? He's just coming down there. He is currently setting purple times. Rowan GT Delaney coming across the line has gone faster, but not good enough to move him up the ranks. Still in 5th, but it's a 1:30.181. Let's see what BMTM Shifter can do here. 1:32, not quite good enough. Ragnar Kagari coming round for his first flying lap. And he goes fastest 1:28.955, 4/10 of a second faster than RGD Wraith. And Gasmania goes and beats that with a 1:28.360. That must have shocked Ragnar Kagari, surely. Yellow flags on the main straight as Ragnar Kagari stops, lets everyone by and then continues on. Let's see who's out in front just now. RGD Wraith pushing to try and beat that 1:28.3 set by his teammate. Although he doesn't really need to be pushing right now, he does have full OTS, which means he will have an extra boost to give him an extra couple of horsepower on these straights. A couple of extra miles an hour. If you can get that dead on, then you see it's already on with that light being at the back of the car and the LEDs flashing. He got that on early on his out lap just to get the maximise it coming down this straight here. See him coming in there, and this is his last chance to put himself on the pole position. Let's see who's about to come across the line. BMTM Shifter. Got Bloody Nine parked up there. Communist Minion. Gasmania coming across the line now. Let's see what he can do. No, he can't go better. Let's see if Ragnak and Gary can improve. Not before we look at Communist Minion. Of course, Ragnar Kagari doesn't improve, but he is now on his final flying lap. RGD Wraith coming through just now. Let's see. This is his last chance to put in a lap. Let's see if he can get himself closer to Ragnar Kagari and his teammate and further away from Communist Minion, who is still out on a lap. And it is close but not quite, puts him in second, 0.04 of a second behind his teammate with a 128.404. Now let's have a look who's next across the line. It will be RGD Gasmania, looking to solidify his lead by going even faster than before. Let's see what he can do coming through here through the Parabolica. Nice wide line through there, back on the power. And does not do it. Ragnar Gary. Communist Minion is next up, coming through the Parabolica. Does not go faster. Ragnar Gary, can he do it? No, he can't, as he slows down coming across the line. Let's see, we're just waiting on Bloody Nine, Ronin GT, Delaney and BMTM Shifter, who have all decided to stop on track instead of crossing the line, which means we have to wait full time, full 10 minutes, but that's alright. So there is your starting grid. RGD Gasmania followed by RGD Wraith lock out the front row, with Ragnar Kagari and Communist Minion locking out the second row. Following them we have Bloody Nine and Ronin GT Delaney and BMT Shifter at the back. This is a good, nice thing to see, a team locking out the podium, the front row here at Monza. Let's see what these guys can do as we get ready for the start. Lights out and away we go for round 4 of the Super Formula Championships here at AOR. Nice start by RGD Wraith, gets him ahead of his teammate. Communist Minion gets ahead of Ragnar Kagari, and Ronin GT Delaney gets ahead of Bloody Nine, as does BMTM Shifter. We see a lot of movement down pack as we see Ragnar Kagari just getting a wee bit slidey there, getting back on the power out of Variant Del Rettifilio as we make the run through Curva Grande. Ragnar Kagari being hassled by Ronin GT Delaney and into Rogia. Going 2x2 into the Lesmo here. That was risky from the RGD boys, going side by side into there. RGD Wraith still holding that lead over his teammate as RGD Gasmania goes into the dirt and is now in last. Communist Minion and Ragnar Kagari fighting out for second. This is what we're talking about, nice close races. The MTM Shifter holding on to Ronin GT Delaney's slipstream and Bloody Nine just behind. As we see Communist Minion go slightly wide and lose time to Delaney and Ragnar Kagari. As we see Ragnar Kagari coming through Parabolic and following RGD Wraith, who is currently just making a gap to those behind him. RGD Wraith setting a 135.495 for the first lap, for the first turn round, for the first of 26 laps, as we watch him breaking into this heavy braking zone here, through the chicane, nicely done. You see Ragnar Gary getting a wee bit slidey on the outset. BMTM shifter slow to get back on the power there, holding Bloody Nine up a bit. This could make for an interesting battle as we see Bloody Nine hanging around the outside of Curva Grande, and he does get past. Let's see if BMTM shifter can get it back into the braking zone here. No, he can't, just has to slot in behind and take the run up to the Lesmos. Here we go, watching Communist Minion now as he is being harassed by our Ronin GT Delaney. As Delaney does go wide, coming out of Lesmo 2. I was about to combine Degna and Lesmo there. Because I apparently can't tell the difference between the Lesmos at Monza and the Degnas at Suzuka. And Ronin GT Delaney goes wide and spins out. Coming on the exit of the Ascari, Bloody Nine gets past. BMTM shifter gets past. RGD Wraith also gets past. That was shockingly bad for Ronin GT Delaney, who was running up in 4th and had his hands on a podium position there, but we are only about to start lap 3 and it is a long race yet to go. Strategy can still play a part here. Let's have a look at RGD Wraith, who is still extending that gap, but he has gone too deep into the chicane, as did Ragnar Kagari, but Ragnar Kagari is closing up now from nearly a second lead to 4/10 ahead. Let's see if RGD Wraith can extend this gap back out. As we come into the Rosia chicane, taking a bit too much of the sausage curve there. Don't really want to be hitting that, but RGD Wraith extending that gap again back out to about 7 or 8 tenths. Ragnar Kagari kind of in a sandwich between Wraith and Minion. Minion about the same distance back as Wraith is ahead. The top 3 have a gap of about 4 seconds to 4th, which is Bloody Nine, who has a 2-second gap to BMTM Shifter, who has been closed up quickly on by RGD Gazmania, who himself is pulling out a gap to Ronin GT Delaney. Not a great start for the Dane here. In the second lap, losing a lot of time, going wide out of Lesmo and wide out of Ascari. Lost a lot of time in positions there. It has allowed Bloody Nine, who was down in last, to recover for 4th. As we see Ragnar Kagari go for a move on RGD Wraith into the first chicane. This could get tasty. Ragnar Kagari goes out in front while RGD Wraith just managed to get it. No, but does he get the traction down is the important thing. You see him closing up there. Let's keep an eye on this as we come down to Rosia, and again taking a wee bit too much of the chicane, costing a little bit of time there as we come into the Lesmos, and he now has Communist Minion all over the back of him. Let's see what Communist Minion can do here as RGD Wraith actually starts creating a gap between himself and Communist Minion on the straight here. On the run down to Ascari, Communist Minion closing that gap down slowly but surely. Will he be close enough for a lunge? No, he will not, as Ragnar Kagari is now getting all the time out there. It is now 1.4 seconds ahead of RGD Wraith and Communist Minion. Top 3 here pulling out a gap to Bloody Nine and goes behind as Ragnar Kagari goes for and sets a 1:30.918. This is a very good battle as Communist Minion almost goes side by side with RGD Wraith into Variante Red Vitfilio. Let's see how the guys further behind are doing. Bloody Nine is in 4th with a 2-second gap to BMTM Shifter, and RGD Gazmania closing down on BMTM Shifter. And Delaney has spun again at the chicane. Has to get himself going again and is struggling to do so. That has very much ruined this race for the Dane, and it's unfortunate because he did show a lot of pace in practice through the week. As we see RGD Gasmania also going a bit wide at the exit of the first Lesmo. This is not a good race for RGD Gasmania right now, as this is also giving BMTM shifters some breathing room. And on a high speed track like this, you do not want to have your opponent right up behind you, as they will get your slipstream, which means they have to work less through the air and they will catch up on you. However, you do want them that close behind you through the corners, as it will allow them to get hit by the dirt air. As we see RGD Gasmania coming into the pits, RGD Wraith, I believe, has also pitted at some point, as he is now behind Bloody 9. We see Ragnar Kagari all the way out first, a 3.8 second lead, nearly 4 second lead to Communist Minion, who has a nearly 4 second lead to Bloody 9, who has about 3 second lead to RGD Wraith. Let's have a wee look at the start of the race. Now let's just watch RGD Wraith and RGD Gasmania here. Just watch them battling it out for the start, since we've got a wee bit of a lull in the action here. Just see the launch he gets here. Now let's look back at Bloody 9. What happened to Bloody 9 off the start here? Just went really deep into the chicane and into the braking zone, and that was it. All over from there, as Bloody 9 has closed down the gap to, well, okay, right, what's happened here? Communist Minion is now in first, Ragnar Kagari in second, and Bloody 9 has closed down that gap big time. I'm assuming that Ragnar Kagari pitted for tyres and just came straight back out, but he wouldn't do. But I'm not entirely sure what's happened here. I was expecting to see Ragnar Kagari still in first. As I need to go and... well, we'll need to watch the replay at some point to see what happened there. But that's us now on lap 7 of 26. As Communist Minion is being chased down by Ragnar Kagari, who is also making a gap back to Bloody 9. With a 1:30, I would imagine that he had pitted. He must have pitted with a lap time like that beforehand, as RGD Gasmania puts in what is according to this the fastest lap of 1:30.5, although I'm sure there was a faster lap than that earlier. RGD Gasmania up into 5th after his early pit stop, and chasing down his teammate as Ragnar Kagari does go back past Communist Minion. And we see a lot of people up on the curbs at the chicane right there as we come through the Lesmos. Let's have a look at RGD Wraith trying to catch up on Bloody 9. We will not be making this easy for him. RGD Wraith catching up to Bloody Nine here. See if we can see a move coming out of it. Let's have a wee quick look further ahead as Ragnar Gary is now making a gap to Communist Minion, who's making a gap to Bloody Nine, who is gone for the pits, which has allowed RGD Wraith to go back ahead into third. Now we see Gazmania go fourth. Will he stay ahead of Bloody Nine? Yes, he will. BMTM Shifter comes across the line and also stays, gets ahead of Bloody Nine, but Ronin GT Delaney does not manage it. Ronin GT Delaney still a long ways back. Now 47.5 seconds off of the lead. As we now see RGD Gazmania's fastest time of a 1:30.469. Although I'm sure there was a faster lap already set, but can't be sure. As we see RGD Wraith and RGD Gazmania in third and fourth, just trying to keep these positions or move up the ranks. Just doing their best not to make any mistakes, fall behind. As we see RGD Mania go even faster there. Through the second sector, let's see if he has the fastest laps comes out as he overtakes his teammate RGD Wraith. Was there a bit of team orders at play there, or is it just because one of them's heading for the pits? Not sure, but Ragnar Gary does currently have a fast lap of 1:29.992 as RGD Gazmania goes past Communist Minion. And let's see if there will be a bit of team play here with Gazmania holding up Communist Minion, so RGD Wraith can also get past and lock out the rest of the podium positions, hopefully for the rest of this race. Let's look on board from Communist Minion, who is in the middle of this RGD sandwich. As Gazmania goes a bit wide and has used up a lot of his OTS by now, and Communist Minion goes back into second. Let's see what these guys could do as we now focus on RGD Wraith. See what these guys can do as we see the wee train coming here down all the way to Ascari. As we see Gazmania pulling out to try and go round down the inside of his teammate. Thinks better of it for now. As these guys all line up into the slipstream of Communist Minion, you see BMTM Shifter just behind. Let's see if we see any action coming into the first chicane as you see Communist Minion and Gazmania go slightly wide. Wraith holding a nice line through there. And RGD Wraith pulls out, goes very, very aggressive into the corner and does indeed get ahead. Let's see what Gazmania can do. Will he hold up Communist Minion to give Gazmania a chance to get by as well? Will there be some team play here as Communist Minion pulls out, thinks better of it, tucks back in, and Gazmania is all over the back of him. This is some exciting racing happening right here as Ragnar Gary now has a 16-second lead. Because of all this battling, it is slowing these guys down, fighting for second, third and fourth. As we come under the bridge where the old oval used to be, we see these guys are much slower than the fastest laps that they've set. Now you see our Communist Minion and RGB Gasmania in the slipstream here. Well, we see yet another move into the first chicane as we come through Parabolic and over the start-finish line. Communist Minion closing up on RGB, Wraith pulling out to the side. Wraith moves over just slightly to cover him off, and there we go, look at that train coming through. As we see BMTM Shifter also trying to catch up there, going a wee bit, turning in a wee bit early from the second part of that chicane. Let's see, Communist Minion pulling out, getting ready, and he's going to have to tuck back in here. As Gasmania gets a wee bit of a slide on there. But will he be slowed down? But will he be able to catch up with his teammate slowing Communist Minion down coming through the Lesmos? And then again into Ascari as we see BMTM Shifter slowly but surely catching up, I believe. Certainly looks like he's catching up on my screen. The numbers say he isn't, but certainly looks a lot closer every time we see him. And we have Communist Minion again trying to look for a move on RGB Wraith. Gasmania now starting to fall behind, just not being in that slipstream anymore. As all three of them head into the pits together. This has allowed BMTM Shifter to, who also comes into the pits, never mind. This gives Bloody Nine second position, as Ragnar Kagari has at some point set a 1:29.565. Ragnar Kagari now has a 27.7 second lead over second place. That is a big lead, I will say. And Ronan GT Delaney is now 55 seconds behind the leaders, which is a long way back from to be. Let's have a wee look at Ragnar Kagari here as he's just coming through the Ascari chicane. I wonder where he's getting all this pace from actually, because everyone's in the exact same machinery. You know, there's no tuning, there's no tweaking the aero or anything like that. So I am very curious to see how he's, 30 seconds over 13 laps faster than everybody else. It might just be the strategy because everybody else has stopped earlier. Could probably see this gap come down quite a bit between now and then, especially because he's got to refuel a lot more than everybody else does, as Bloody Nine is coming around Parabolic as Ragnar Kagari comes out of the pit lane, and that gap is now down to 11 seconds. Let's see, RGB Wraith is there. Gasmania came out ahead. No, he didn't. He's just been battling away with Communist Minion, and we see the blue flags as Gasmania does go onto the grass. Was there a wee bit of argy-bargy there? Oh, and we see Gasmania in the... as I try to get the replay to work. Here we go. Does look like he might have got a bit of a tap there. Let's see what happens here as Communist Minion pushes him through. That was definitely a bit iffy from Communist Minion there. We'll see what happens if there's any action by the stewards at the end of the race. Because we don't have real-time stewards. Stewards will have a decision by Tuesday through the stewards panel. Should Gasmania bring it up to the stewards? But in good sportsmanship, Communist Minion has stayed behind them through the incident. and that should work a bit in his favour should it be brought up and should the stewards need to make a decision. Let's see, where's Delaney just now? On an outlap after having pitted. And is a minute and 2 behind Ragnar Kagari. Let's go back to this battle here, RGD Gazmania and Communist Minion. The only real battle going on just now at the moment from what I can see. Everyone else is just a wee bit too spread out. However, we could see RGD, Wraith and Bloody Knight getting into it in shortly. From the looks of it, as Gazmania does go a little bit wide, gives Communist Minion a chance to catch up on him. Now RGD Gazmania has none of his OTS left, whereas Communist Minion still has a fair amount left to use. However, I don't think Communist Minion will know this at this point in time. Will actually probably be thinking when is he going to use it. I think he's going to use it when Communist Minion puts on for a major attack or defense. As we see Gazmania coming through, parabolic, followed by Communist Minion. Communist Minion probably understeering a fair bit through here, just being in the dirty air of that RGD car. As we see these guys coming across the start-finish line and continuing on. As we see Communist Minion try something into the first chicane, but just slightly too far behind to do anything. As we see also bits and pieces from the chicane strewn across the track. We should really get some marshals out there to fix it if that was an option. Communist Minion and RGD Gazmania pulling out a gap to BMTM Shifter. And Communist Minion is starting to slowly fall back from RGD Gazmania as they come through the Lesmos. Thank you for joining us in the chat there. It is a fantastic battle with the RGDs, and we now have Communist Minion in on that battle with RGD Gazmania. Let's hope that they can catch back up with RGD Wraith and continue this on. Let's have a look to see what's happening with RGD Wraith and Bloody Nine. They're still not quite close enough for a battle yet. Where's Ragnar Kagari at? He is just coming up to the first chicane, 14 seconds ahead of Bloody Nine, followed who is about 3.5 seconds ahead of RGD Wraith, who is 5 seconds ahead of his teammate RGD Gazmania, who is battling away fantastically with Communist Minion, coming down the main straight into the first chicane. BMTM Shifter 5 seconds behind that battle and 35 seconds ahead of Ronan GT Delaney, who is currently coming through the Ascari chicane. Let's get back to the battle at hand though. Communist Minion and RGD Gazmania fighting for the best of the rest here. As Communist Minion does go just a little bit wide. And I appear to have lost my fastest lap graphic, which is unfortunate. Which happens every time I go into a replay. As Gazmania spins it and loses it, and that has allowed Communist Minion to get past. That was unfortunate, just got a wee bit on the grass there as BMTM Shifter's coming up on him. And gets past. This is a good race for the Belgian. Just staying consistent, not making too many mistakes, and just picking up the places where he can as Bloody Nine comes into the pits. RGD Wraith goes ahead of him there. We'll probably see Communist Minion and BMTM Shifter go by Bloody Nine before the end of this pit straight. Although Gazmania has also decided to stop and pit. this is someone I feel who has... Wraith has passed Bloody because of the pits obscurity. I see your comment there. But I feel this has been a fairly decent season for BMTM Shifter. He has mostly gone under the radar through most of the races because he's just been doing his own thing, just being consistent, and not making many mistakes, but he's not been in very many battles either, so he has flown a lot under the radar, but he has shown a lot of skill this season, which is also good to see. Let's have a wee look at where RGD Wraith is. He is 17.5 seconds ahead, behind even Ragnar Gary, and 10 seconds ahead of Communist Minion. Bloody 9 came out behind BMTM Shifter ahead of RGD Gazmania. Gazmania 17 seconds behind Bloody 9. Everyone's just kind of finding a nice wee spot to hang out in and see how much I can wing it now, apparently. Not that they're watching this to make those decisions. Remember, any questions about these cars or this season, post them into the chat. I would love to have a chat with you guys during moments like this where we don't have a lot of action going on. Communist Minion back into the pits, just coming out, and he comes out behind Bloody 9. About 20 odd seconds ahead of RGD Gazmania. 20 seconds. Oh, there we go, down to 9 seconds. So here is your running order. Currently, Ragnar Gary in first, followed by RGD Wraith. BMTM Shifter is up in third position, a good position for the Belgian. Bloody 9 in fourth. Communist Minion in fifth, RGD Gazmania in sixth, and Ronan GT Delaney in last position, with a couple of big mistakes and incidents with himself and the gravel. That time is just growing, 1 minute 7 seconds between Ronan GT Delaney and Ragnar Gary. So that's Ronan GT Delaney just coming through the Lesmos just now as Ragnar Gary comes through the Curva Grande, which will give Ragnar Gary a chance to lap Ronan GT Delaney as RGD Wraith pits and comes back out of the pits in second, with Bloody 9 catching quickly. This could be a wee battle forming here. We shall see, as long as everyone can avoid all the debris from the Communist Minion Gazmania incident, as Gazmania also pits as it appears to be just about to come out of the pits. As Bloody 9 is just losing time to RGD Wraith, time's just chipping away, but he's just ticking away, building a wee gap over Communist Minion, who now has picked up the pace a little bit and is chipping away at that gap between himself and Bloody 9, and BMTM Shifter is right behind there, closing in as we come through the Lesmos. As we see, let's see if BMTM Shifter can get into that slipstream and close that gap. Coming down towards Parabolic Curve as we come through the Ascari Chicane. And BMTM Shifter has lost some time through there, but is still building a gap between himself and Delaney, as RGD Gazmania is now in last after that incident that forced him to pits, and is 6 seconds behind our Ronan GT Delaney. We are on lap 21 of 26, 5 laps to go with Ragnar Kagari in first. Let's see if there's any battling going on anywhere. There's one just here. It is Communist Minion and BMTM Shifter. BMTM Shifter holding on very well for 5th right now. Let's see if he can maintain that or even close up that gap to Communist Minion for 1st position. As we see once again, BMTM Shifter closing that gap coming into the Lesmos. Let's see if he can maintain this pace. He has been using his OTS, as you can see the last time round, that was in the green, it is now in the red. Communist Minion also in the red, less than 25% of their OTS left. As we watch these guys coming through the Ascari chicane. There we go. Let's watch as we see if Shifter can close this gap through the parabolic curve. No, he gets caught in the dirty air and loses a bit of time, but now that they're getting back onto the power, he is closing that gap. Will he be close enough to make a move? Will he be able to close the gap? It does not look like it. As we are now on lap 22 of 26. Let's have a look at where Ragnar Kagari is. He is coming down to the Ascari chicane where Ronin GT Delaney has since been passed by RGD Gasmania. Is now just coming across the start finish line. And there we go. Pardon me. There was a lot of action to call earlier on in this race, and my throat is now feeling it, I will say. Just need to take a wee drinkaroo there. RGD Wraith is falling further behind Ragnar Kagari right now, trying to close up that gap, as we see. And we have Bloody Nine just trying to close that gap down to RGD Wraith. We still have this battle between Communist Minion and BMTM Shifter going on. BMTM Shifter getting closer every time. Communist Minion has now used up all of his OTS and has nothing he can use for the next 3 laps to defend or attack with. Shifter still having less than 25%. He can still use that through one of the straights or this long right-hander of Curva Grande to catch up to Mega or Minion even. As we see that gap coming down and coming back up again, and we'll see it coming down, coming to the Lesmos probably. These guys having a good run here. BMTM Shifter having a good race today. He's definitely had a struggle this season, gone under the radar. Ragnar Kagari pits again with a couple of laps to go, probably going for the fastest lap. And he does have the OTS to go for it. That will allow RGD Wraith to close the gap down by probably about 10 seconds or so. So we'll probably see Ragnar Kagari, his name come up at the bottom saying fastest lap if he can pull it off. As we now have a wee battle going on at the back here between RGD Gasmania and Ronin GT Delaney. As we watch these guys coming through the Ascari chicane and then get ready for the run up to Parabolica. RGD Gasmania has none of his OTS left. Ronin GT Delaney has enough left that he could possibly also try going for the fastest lap, provided he doesn't have any more issues. As these guys cross the line to come on to lap number 24. Ronin GT Delaney just about No, he's not building a gap. He's slowly being closed down on by RGT Gasmania. Let's see. This guy's coming into the chicane. Will Gasmania be able to carry more speed through and close this gap up a bit? It did look like it for a moment, but Ronan GT Delaney gets better traction out of the corner. This is starting to feel very much like real life F1, where the further back to the grid you go, the more exciting the battles can get. Let's have a look again at BMTM Shifter and Communist Minion. These guys still going at it, coming up to the Curva Parabolica and getting ready to go down the pit straight to start the penultimate lap. And BMTM Shifter closing down that gap on Communist Minion, but not by enough to give him a chance into the corners here. Let's have a look at Ronan GT Delaney and RGD Gasmania. Delaney holding Gasmania behind for now, but Gasmania is in that slipstream. And is also in the dirty air through the corners. It's a very difficult track here because you do not want to be in the slipstream too close to the corners, as you will get hit with dirty air instead of a nice hole punched into the air. As you see, the guys going around all the debris that's currently on track after Communist Minion and RGD Gasmania had a slight coming together. Ragnar Gary, new fastest lap 1:29.328 as Communist Minion comes out of the Ascari chicane, followed by BMTM Shifter, who has now used up all his OTS trying to attack Communist Minion through the straights here. Let's just see if BMTM Shifter can do anything coming into the chicane as they start their final lap of this race. And BMTM Shifter getting up on the curbs just a little bit too much, and he is closing down, coming through Curva Grande, but can he get into that slipstream and close the gap down even further along the straights here, getting up nice and close? Can he maintain that speed, maintain the gap, close down on it? Coming into the Lesmos here, does not appear to be so, as we watch Ragnar Gary now coming through the Curva Parabolic across the line. 1:28.5, fastest lap, first position, as we now watch RGT Wraith coming across the line, well, coming through Curva Parabolica. Let's see. Crosses the line. Second, Bloody Nine. Third, Communist Minion. And BMT Shifter still fighting all the way through there, as Communist Minion finishes fourth and BMTM Shifter in fifth. Ronan GT Delaney coming through the Ascari chicane with Gasmania just behind by about a couple of seconds. And the run up to the Parabolica, you see Delaney using up that OTS, probably trying to go for the fastest lap, see if he can beat Ragnar Kagari's time for that extra bonus point. And here we go across the line. Sixth position, and RGD Gasmania crosses the line in seventh. Congratulations to all the racers, especially Ragnar Kagari on your first and fastest laps. That has been the feature race for AOR Super Formula Season 2 Round 4 here at Monza. We will be taking a short 5-minute break. We will see you after the break for the sprint race. Reverse grid, softer tyres. Could get interesting. And welcome back to AOR GT Sport Super Formula Season 2, Round 4 at Monza. We hope you enjoyed your short break. I hope you went and got yourself a nice drink of something. I have a can of Monster here, as always. I hope you have enjoyed the feature race. The sprint is about to start. Remember, rolling start, reverse grid. So we will be starting with RGD Gazmania and Ronin GT Delaney on the front row. BMTM Shifter and Communist Minion on the second row. Bloody Nine and RGD Wraith on the third row. And Ragnar Kagari at the back. As we see BMTM Shifter coming down to the first sector time split, and RGD Wraith has just come out the pits. So once everyone is down at Variante della Roggia, we will have everyone back together past the first sector time split, and we will start the sprint race, which will be 13 laps, the equivalent of roughly 20 minutes. As BMTM Shifter set the fastest lap in that session of non-practice of a 1:32.399. The final will begin in 3, 2, 1. Here we go for the sprint race. I should mention penalties were accidentally turned off for the feature race. Penalties are now back on, so you may see some people with a penalty above their head for abusing the track limits a little bit. But here is your order: RGD Gazmania, Ronin GT Delaney locking at the front row, Shifter and Minion in the second row, Bloody Wraith, then Kagari. As we see the cars all lined up in Parabolica, here we go, and they are rolling. Let's hope that there's no major incidents in turn 1. And away they go for the sprint race of Season 2 Super Formula Round 4 here at Autodromo di Monza. We see Gazmania pulling off very defensively and pulling back across to the racing line, and Ronin GT Delaney just behind. Let's have a look. BMTM Shifter and Communist Minion battling out through the first chicane. Bloody Nine giving Communist Minion a little bit of a tap, which has given him a boost to get possibly past BMTM Shifter. We shall have to see. Ragnar Kagari stuck behind RGD Wraith, and Bloody Nine comes down, and let's see if he can anything can go into this as BMTM Shifter gets ahead of Communist Minion again. Communist Minion got past them coming through the Curva Grande. Bloody Nine falling down behind Ragnar Kagari, who has passed RGD Wraith coming into the chicane there as well. BMTM Shifter up in third position right now. A good position currently for the Belgian. Let's see what's happening with RGD Gazmania, who is pulling out a gap to Ronin GT Delaney, who is pulling out a gap to BMTM Shifter, who is holding everybody else up behind him and defending this position away. Let's see if he can keep this defence up. It would be great to see him manage this. Now, remember, the tyres are a step softer, so the harder compound is the softs and the softer compound is the super softs. As Ragnar Kagari closes up on Communist Minion, let's see if we will see any action coming into the first chicane. If we see anything that's going to be between Communist Minion and BMTM Shifter. Communist Minion pulls out to take the inside line, but has to slot back in and does cut that corner a little bit, but not enough to get a penalty as he slows down more than Ragnar Kagari seems to expect him to. and gives him a wee push through the line as everyone's coming through Curva Grande. We've got our front two storming away. Then we have a nice battle here with everyone from 3rd to 7th. You just see this almost train coming through. It's almost a parade here as Communist Minion takes the inside line for the Lesmos, but has to slot in behind at the first Lesmo. Will he try it again at the second Lesmo here? No, he will not, as he goes wide. Nearly takes out Ragnar Kagari. Ragnar Kagari moving out the way. That was nearly going full set for Communist Minion, as Ragnar Kagari now does get ahead, and Bloody Nine is closing in on him very, very quickly. Let's see what Ragnar Kagari does here on the run up to Parabolica behind a BMTM shifter. Now the duration possible for the OTS is turned down for this race, so that it will be roughly the equivalent amount of time you can use it. As we see everyone coming through the curve of Parabolica, the leaders making a gap here to everyone else right now, as we see everyone coming across the line. BMTM shifter drag racing with Ragnar Kagari. Ragnar Kagari has the inside line for the first chicane. Communist Minion making a dive down the inside of, well, trying to make a dive down the inside of BMTM shifter, as RGD Wraith gets ahead of Bloody Nine. Let's keep an eye out on BMTM shifter just now. Let's see what he can do here. Can he close back up on Ragnar Kagari and get past? Not like that, he can't, as he does go wide and on the gravel. That means Bloody Nine, RGD Wraith and Communist Minion all get past. That was an unfortunate mistake for the Belgian, who was defending pretty well, and these cars, once you lose all momentum, it's hard to get it back and get the traction down. Now we're following Communist Minion, RGD Wraith, Bloody Nine and Ragnar Kagari. Let's see what these guys all can do together, as we see the BMTM shifter is still struggling to get going again, coming up to the Lesmo. As we see Communist Minion coming in to the parabolic curve. Will he manage to get into the slipstream of Ragnar Kagari and catch him coming into the chicane? As we see Ragnar Kagari trying to catch Ronan GT Delaney, who is out first, just behind our GD Gasmania, as we are now on lap 3 of 13. RGD Race trying to catch up on try to catch up on Communist Minion with Bloody Nine behind them. Let's have a look at RGD Gasmania, who has a 2.3 second penalty, presumably for cutting part of the chicane, the Variant de la Rogia. He will have a full lap to serve this penalty before he risks getting taken to the stewards panel. And you see him chipping away by braking a wee bit earlier and lifting off a wee bit through some of the corners, but not enough to let Delaney in the door. Now you'll see him brake a wee bit earlier here, as Delaney has caught up, probably because of the use of his OTS. You see Gasmania coming off the racing line, braking a bit earlier, trying to bring that penalty down. Just chipping away at that penalty as he battles with Delaney, and he's in hits early. First to pull the trigger, as Ronan GT Delaney storms off now into the lead, but Ragnar Kagari is hot on his heels. You see Ragnar Kagari closing that gap down. Let's jump back into the midfield battle. We've got RGD Wraith behind Communist Minion ahead of Bloody Nine, and RGD Gasmania comes out right at the back of the pack. You see everybody coming round quickly, and the MTM shifter is just going through the second Lesmo just now, as the leaders are coming through the Rogia chicane. This does not bode well for the Belgian. who at lap 5 of 13 will be getting lapped by the looks of it, providing he holds this pace at the moment. The fastest lap is currently held by Ragnar Kagari at 1:30.877. Those fastest laps are what an extra point, which is an extra 16 points over the course of the season, because you get 1 for the sprint race, 1 for the feature, as he is catching up on Ronan GT Delaney. Watching these guys coming through the parabolic curve, and all this battling is giving a chance for everyone else to start catching up. As we see the MTM shifter coming through the Reticulario chicane and up through Curva Grande. The MT shifter currently 1:17 behind Ronan GT Delaney, which means at this rate he will get past in about 1 or 2 laps time. Communist Minion just pulling out a gap between himself and RGD Wraith, but it's losing time to Ragnar Kagari. Keep this up, it could be a boring race for him, as we're watching RGD Gazmania trying to catch up on Blood Knight and get past 4th. 5th position has not been a good weekend for Gazmania, especially after the struggles that he and his teammate RGD Wraith had at the start of the race at Mount Panorama in the GTSL Porsche Cup on Thursday. These guys racing in the Porsche Cup as well. They came together at Hill Corner and went off there. Although Gazmania managed to salvage a 2nd position in the feature race, and Wraith got the win in the sprint. Ronan GT Delaney is now in the pits on lap 7 of 13, which has allowed everyone except for the MTM shifter to get by. So where is Shifter currently? Shifter is currently at the Curva Grande, so we'll see how he gets on there, if he can manage to stay ahead of everyone else as Ragnar Kagari is coming up on him on the run up to the Lesmos. It was an unfortunate start to this race for the Belgian. Let's hope that he can salvage it in the next couple of races, as we have RGD Gazmania and RGD Wraith running 4th and 3rd respectively. Bloody Nine and Ronan GT Delaney going to have a fight soon, I would imagine. Let's see where it is. Here we go, we've got Ragnar Kagari closing down on BMTM shifter. As we are about to start lap 8 of 13. Ragnar Kagari pulling out a bit of a gap to Communist Minion, but decides instead to go for a pit stop. Should have plenty of fuel, probably just moving on to the super soft tyres to secure that fastest lap. Comes out in 3rd position behind RGD Wraith and Communist Minion, and ahead of RGD Gazmania, who is on older tyres but has made a pit stop, as RGD Gazmania does lose the car a bit. Let's see, he's lost a wee bit of time, but he's still able to be close enough to get into that slipstream. You see RGD Wraith coming up to the Rosia chicane, and Communist Minion coming into the Lesmos. So your grid as it currently stands is Communist Minion in 1st, RGD Wraith 2nd, Ragnar Kagari in 3rd, RGD Gazmania in 4th, Ronin GT Delaney in 5th, Bloody 9 in 6th, and BMTM Shifter there in 7th position. Now we are missing Ash Racer, who is not going to be here for this week and did miss the Porsche Cup race on Thursday. They should be back by the time we have returned from our break weeks. As you see the MTM Shifter coming across the line. So we have Ragnar Kagari closing up on our GD Wraith. Let's see what Ragnar Kagari can do, if I can actually press the right button to look at Ragnar Kagari. See these guys closing up on a little bit of a battle between themselves, as everyone else is just starting to spread out a little bit. You see our Ragnar Kagari closing up on our GD Wraith. Let's see what these guys can do. Coming round the Lesmos. As you see, almost nose to tail here. As our GD Wraith defends from Ragnar Kagari. Ragnar Kagari trying to go around the outside here. He does have the outside line for the Ascari chicane. But Wraith tucks in behind, lets him pass for now, decides, you know what mate, I'm going to get you at the Parabolica. Although his exit is not as good as Ragnar Kagari's, but he is pulling up the gap due to that slipstream, but he also has his teammate all up in his wing mirrors. Let's see what happens here. Could we end up 3 wide into the first chicane? Does not look like it, but could we see some team battling coming into the chicane here? These guys are racers through and through. As Gazmania gets past, and Bloody 9 goes fastest with a 1:30.664. Good effort from Bloody 9 to get the fastest lap there. That was the last lap he set that on, yes it was. So we'll need to keep an eye on everything that is going on, as Communist Minion now has a penalty, presumably for cutting the chicane that everyone was doing in the first race of the evening, and due to penalties being off, they were not getting penalised for it. Now remember, you have to serve the penalty within the next lap. As we watch Communist Minion just serving that penalty through the braking zones, braking a little bit early, lifting a little bit more. I imagine he will not have this penalty anymore by the time he comes into the Parabolica. Finish serving this through the Parabolica, I would assume. Apparently not. That means he will serve it at the chicane. Let's have a look at Ragnar Kagari coming across the line, and followed by Gazmania, and Ronin GT Delaney is fighting with our GT Wraith here. Right up in the slipstream, pulls out, trying to take the outside line, because that is the only line that our GT Wraith allowed him. And he has cut the chicane so much to the point he's been reset and not given a penalty. But it has set him a couple of seconds behind our GT Wraith, which has given Bloody 9 a chance to close in on him just a little bit. And the MTM Shifter is coming through the Lesmos, keeping ahead of everyone just enough that he will not be getting lapped, and that is what we like to see. He's not giving up at all. Ragnar Kagari, when we crossed the line there to go on to lap 11, set a 1:30.271 for the fastest lap. Communist Minion still has a bit of a penalty there, but not much. And that is the penalty gone, and Ragnar Kagari, Communist Minion does not need to worry about that penalty anymore, and can work on getting that gap between himself and Ragnar Kagari opened back up again. Defending his way for the next 2 laps to the end to win. here at Monza. Now if he can close up on BMTM Shifter, that would be handy for him, because that would give him some slipstream to defend against Ragnar Gary, who is they're going side by side along the pit straight here. Ragnar Gary just got ahead, but let's see if Communist Minion can battle side by side into the chicane. He's gone a bit wide, gone a bit squirrely. Getting in behind there just to get some of that slipstream. Let's see if Communist Minion can do anything into the chicane here. And he's lost it. Not a good move to defend. That has allowed RGD Gazmania to get past and RGD Wraith, and he has exited the race. That will surely be met with some words from the stewards and the organisers, as race quitting is not allowed here at AOR. But now we are watching our RGD boys on the podium. Gazmania started second. He's going to finish second. In fact, no, he finished first and he's going to finish second. RGD Wraith started sixth and he's going to finish third, which is a good point haul for the boys here at RGD. Let's see if we can hold it for the next lap and a bit, as we see Ronan GT Delaney crossing the line here. And we are on the final lap. We have Ragnar Gary just catching up on BMTM Shifter here. That should give him some slipstream if he can catch him on a straight to open this gap between RGD Gazmania and himself. As we see BMTM Shifter coming through, he is being blue flagged. You see the blue flags there, you see the blue panels, you see the marshals waving the blue flags. As Ragnar Gary has a 5-second gap to RGD Gazmania. We don't have any battles going on anymore. Everyone has just found their spot, just found their pace and their rhythm, and is just running down the clock here by the looks of it. As we see RGD Wraith coming through the Ascari chicane. And onto the back straight. Let's have a look at the BMTM Shifter. Well, yes, he will hold Ragnar Kagari behind him. Have enough pace to not have Ragnar Kagari lap him. As he starts his final lap, Ragnar Kagari crosses the line with a 1:29.985 on the final lap to finish the race with the fastest lap. RGD Gazmania, RGD Wraith, Ronan GT Delaney and Bloody 9 are your finishers, and BMTM Shifter, you see him coming through the curve at Grande there on his final lap. Lap 13 of 13. As he comes through the Rosier chicane, up through the Lesmos. First Lesmo. Down into the second Lesmo. Along the back straight here. Through the Ascari chicane. Run up to Parabolica. Through the Parabolica. And across the line. Congratulations to all the racers. Congratulations to Ragnar Kagari and the RGD boys who got the podium positions. that has been it from us here at Gaming Ken. As always, I've been Jack. I have been your commentator, and as always, there's room for you here at Gaming Ken if you want to be our friend. Join us next week on Thursday for social races and the break week between the two halves of the Porsche Cup. We will not be here for another 2 weeks due to the Formula 1 in real life. When we come back, we will be at, I believe it is Autopolis International. Yes, Autopolis International in 3 weeks' time. And then after that, we'll be at Santa Croix B, a track to be determined, and then Suzuka. So as always, I've been Jack from Gaming Ken, aka AOR GT Pinky Boy. You've been watching AOR Super Formula Season 2, Round 4, here at Monza. As always, there's room for you here at Gaming Ken if you want to be our friend. And as always, stay safe out there.